how do you navigate trying to, walk through life and pull back from what your dad taught you? Are you trying to like measure up to your dad?
I think the biggest one was realizing I gotta be my own man too. He wanted to create an image for me and my brother of what a man was. And my dad's nickname was the Iceman because he was cold as ice. He was a major in the military and stuff like that. And so when people would talk about him and stuff like that, such a high regard and respect for him because he gave it to you blunt.
Mm-hmm.
He gave it to you real, and he did that with all of us and stuff like that. And it wasn't until as I got older, I became my own man. I started taking ownership for myself that he started opening up a little bit more. What landed for me the most, I was in my 30s, and me and him had a conversation about, you know, how I viewed him growing up, and then he stopped me and he was just like, "Man, you and your brother are my greatest accomplishment," and that wrecked me
Right.
because that's all I wanted to hear.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Little did I know how much I grow. Oh yeah, I see why. My mind has been renewed. My power, see why. God say what to do, but all I do is O-B-E-Y. Christ is where I put my I-D-E and T-I-T-Y. This is what happens when purpose and passion, greatness in action, eliminating every single distraction. See, anything you do for a while is gone from a habit, good or bad. Let's get active and obey his commandments. This podcast is really one of a kind. Let's get aligned.
What's going on, man? Hiya. What's going on, team, man? I appreciate you having me on today.
Hey, you. Yeah, you.
Hey, don't leave this video. I got a question for you. What's keeping you on the hamster wheel? All right, don't answer so fast, right? Is it your choices? Is it fear? Is it your past? Or is it your belief system? Right? Are you still living in the tragedy of a decision that you made in your past, and you're trying to find your way through it, and it's cost you way more than you ever anticipated? But it taught you a lesson that you'll carry with you for the rest of your life. Whatever that is, if it's the fear, if it's a decision, if it's the choice, if it's trauma, hey, this episode is for you. That's why you landed on this episode. This is for you. Don't leave early. Don't tap out, because what you don't address, what you won't face, you continue to feed with interest. So we're going to jump into this discussion. I got my boy BG, Billy Grubbs, B-Gold.
Let's go.
B-Gold 04, my dog, my friend, my brother.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, BG. What's happening, man?
Man, it's been a good minute, bro. Like, it's been, what, about a year and a half? Well, we meet and talk here now and then, but not like in this type of setting. And I appreciate you having me out, man. But it's been the last year and a half, it's been some shifts, dog. Like, been some real shifts in life and some changes and stuff like that. But it's, my perspective shows it's been a lot about growth.
Right.
Shifting my mindset where I'm at, doing some things different than I was doing before. And I believe personally, man, it just, your boy been in some fear lately.
Right.
Living in fear, sitting in fear, not standing like in my true manhood and my true power and stuff like that. And that's just because there's so much comfort in what I can control versus what I can't control. And you helped me realize that the day when we was having something to eat, man, I just been sitting in it, bro. Like, it just, I got all the ideas in the world. I write them down. I could speak into them and stuff, but then the action just wasn't there. And it's easy for me to put like something in front of it. Like, oh, I'll get to it after I do this. I'll get to it after I do this. I'll get to it once I get this done. Or wait. Once I get to this point, then I'll be straight. But for your boy, man, it just, I find myself in this spiral of just like the same old, and then you blink, the day went by, you blink again, a week went by, blink, a month, 6 months, a year, and some change and anything like that, and just lack of action, bro. But it's not, I don't want to say just complete lack of action, because I'm not completely just out of the mix of it. I kind of jump in, drop a nugget here, do like a call here and there for some people and whatnot, work with a couple clients here and there. But then personally, when my world goes upside down, the ripple effect of that, man, just rocks me.
Right.
And so your boy, I would like to say it was a pebble, but a boulder got thrown in your boy's life, and it rocked everything for a little bit. I was like, oh, I don't know if I could bounce back from this the same way that I had before. And that's just because, you get older and a little more set in your ways, and the idea of like changing what you want ain't as easy as you want to change it. It just doesn't flow the same.
Right.
I want change to happen like yesterday.
Yeah, but we know it's not gonna happen like that.
Yeah, facts.
And it's interesting. One of the reasons I wanted to have you back, as we were sitting in Salada, breaking bread like we always do, man. I could see the fear had gripped you as we were talking, and I began to just pour into you as friends and brothers do. And I just saw the look in your face of how locked in you were.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, this is a conversation I think that a lot of us need to have with ourselves, because fear, it gets us, right?
Yeah.
Fear of failure, fear of the response that we get for even trying,
Yeah.
or just life, like you said, the living in the some of our fears and failures, what we call failures, literally takes over our mind. It grips us and it controls us, and we don't ever start to get to the levels of success, which is not just monetary. It's success of living a life where you're walking in the fullness of who you're designed to be.
Facts.
And so I think that is something that we really need to dive into today. So this gonna be a little transparent.
Yeah, let's go.
It's gonna be a little raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there. But first, before we get deep off into this, got a couple of things for you, right? So for a lot of us, golf felt like it wasn't built for us. Too buttoned up, too unfamiliar, too far from the culture we came up in. But Grip Golf is changing that. Born in ATL, fueled by hip-hop and built for the ones who bring their own flavor to the fairway. Custom gloves, towels, shirts, and gear with swag, comfort, and a cultural edge. Whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just picking up your first club, Grip Golf has a lane for you. Don't fit in, stand out, keep it gripped out. Shop at gripgolf.com and follow my people at grip_golf on Instagram. As you can tell, they're the episode sponsor for today. It's called gripgolf.com. Check them out. Go hit them up on Instagram at grip_golf. And also hit subscribe, hit like, hit share, and then comment in that order. Subscribe first, though, and stay a little while. Check us out. You might find yourself feeling right at home if you just spend a little time with us. How you going to get to know us if you don't spend a little time with the Genesis podcast? So, okay, now we're done with that. We got that out the way. And then also, we got this book right here, right? It's called The Discipline to Finish. It's a book that actually kind of corresponds with what we're talking about. Again, it's The Discipline to Finish. Down in the show notes, if you want to get the book, it's only about 55 pages. It's a quick, easy read. Hit the link, purchase a copy. My boy has a copy. I let him give you a review whenever he does break it open. Yeah. So now we got all those formalities out the way. Let's get into this conversation. So, man, tell me what's been going on with, man, because I know there have been some landmines that you planted in your own life.
Yeah.
Some tornadoes.
Yeah.
That you caused.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying you, but I'm talking about all of us. But since we're kind of digging into you a little bit today, man. Tell me what's been going on with your life, man. How you feeling?
Oh, man.
Where's your mental?
Ooh, that's, when you say that, it's like, where do you start? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you want to start in like the now, but you also got to understand where the root causes come from in a lot of ways. And so like the first thing that pops up in my mind is like, like last time we was talking about like living right, when you want to be in a space around good men, good people and stuff like that, and being transparent, man, I felt like I was showing up in one aspect of my life with my friends and stuff like that. But outside of my life, I wasn't living right. You know what I'm saying?
You got that shadow was showing up.
Oh man, the shadow, it was creeping in big time, bro. Because it's like, you want to have fun, but then you try to define what fun looks like. You feel like you're complacent in life and relationships and stuff like that. And you're wanting something different. And you're wanting to explore yourself in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to find that pinnacle of what happiness looks like. Yeah. And I can say that's why at one point in time, I took almost a 2-month social media break, just because it was like, I felt like everything was influencing what I should have versus what I wanted. Mm-hmm. And it was messing with my head and whatnot, even into the point where like my relationship ended because I was stepping out.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't living right. I was in some ways living two different lives in a lot of aspects of how I was showing up. But then it was just like, is this what I really want?
Yeah.
But it wasn't about like that. It was like, do I really want myself?
No. Wow.
You know
That's
what I
a
mean? It's
deeper.
like,
That's a deeper question.
boy, I tell you, you tap into yourself for a second. Like I wasn't happy with me.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, man, and I can truly resonate with that, because I remember there was a time in my life I didn't even like the dude I saw in the mirror,
Oh yeah.
and that is when you get to that point, like you really can't face yourself
Mm-hmm.
because you see your external, and I ain't no ugly dude, but I was an ugly dude.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like that shadow would actually step up, and I would see the image of the shadow of the person, that I was showing up as versus the person that society sees.
Yeah.
Right? You posting your positive post, and you're talking a good talk, and you're doing all that, but in the interim, you're still watering that corrupt seed within you.
Mm-hmm.
When nobody's watching, you're nurturing that corrupt seed,
Yeah.
man. And I've been in those spaces, so I really understand when I'm showing up as one version, but in the background, that other version, he's winning the war. And so how did you begin to kind of overcome that? Because that is a hard thing, because one, we don't want to have those conversations with ourselves, right? And I think that being honest with self is the hardest thing any of us can do, right? When you can look in the mirror and say, you know what, bro, I'm messed up.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm the problem.
Yeah.
I'm the problem.
That's facts. I would say, I try to live by this rule of like, certain people, you shouldn't lie in general, but like who you always keep it real with.
Yeah.
Your therapist, your doctor, and like, your significant other. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that's my, like, you don't lie to the people, you know what I'm talking about? But I found myself in every single one, and to yourself. And I found myself in every one of those areas not being fully myself or fully truthful. And I sit there and say, like, I said 1.5 years, but shoot, if I'm really thinking about it, dog, it was going back maybe like 2.5, 3 years. You know what I'm talking about? Like, as far as in and out of like what I wanted myself to be and who I saw myself as, but then stepping out on myself. You know what I mean? In and out of like what I thought I wanted in life, as far as like money, relationship, what I felt like I was face or trying to get to. But that's even to a certain point why I stopped speaking in some aspects, because I didn't feel like I was bringing my authentic self. So how can I go in front of a crowd of 1,500 to 2,000 people and speak this truth if I'm not living that truth?
Right.
And that's what, like, dog, when I say it would jack me up, like I couldn't go there. People ask me about relationship advice. How can I give you relationship advice if my relationships are jacked up?
Right.
How can I give you life advice if I go home and I'm not happy?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like I'm giving you a perspective versus like the reality of like tools.
Yeah.
I'm giving you like, oh, you know what? This is what I do every single day. I wake up and do this, and this to make sure that my mind is sharp. Then I go about my day and I rock it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't doing that. And so like my mornings were thrown off. How I showed up was thrown off. Sometimes you'd be like, hey man, you want to go do A, B, and stuff? Like, yeah. And then I get to the date and I'd be like, oh man, I'm tied up and stuff. It wasn't because I had something going on. It's just because I was afraid of how I had to show up. You know what I mean? It's like when you get faced with yourself, or better yet, you get faced with people that make you bring out your true self. So I can't hide from my dog. You were my best friends. Like, I can't hide from you. You know what I'm saying? Like my boy back in DC, Reggie, I can't hide from the dog. Like y'all ask subtle questions that like, it's not about the question being deep. It's just a simple question. Like my mentor, Garen, he just says like, how's your heart? And I'd be like, damn, bro, why you ask? Like, you can't ask how my day is.
Body blow.
Right?
Body blow.
You can't ask me how my day going. I've been in child's 5 minutes. You know what I mean? But like that stuff right there started like revealing that I didn't like me. And I didn't like how I showed up in the world. And like, I don't like hurting people. You know what I'm saying? I don't like hurting people I care about stuff. And then you realize the ripple effect of your decisions and how like, I guess the man in the mirror, like you said, or like how you see yourself in the mirror, but also it's like you see yourself in the mirror and you see the reflection of the people you hurt too.
Yeah.
And that's our rocking your boy and everything like that. So I would say like in this past fall 2025, when everything kind of came to a head with everything in my life, bro, I'm talking about job stuff with the new administration and the government and stuff like that, shifting the way that, they bring contractors on and stuff like that. My money started shifting and whatnot. Relationships started falling apart left and right. And this is not just like intimate relationships, this is personal relationships too. And all I could fall back on was like, man, I don't know how I can lose anything else. I can't lose anything else. Can tear thinking about it.
It's all good, bro. Take your time.
Because you just get to a point, you just want to win.
You're right.
in every aspect of your life, you just want to win,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to know that people got your back.
Yeah.
And then when things start falling apart, people start leaving,
Mm-hmm.
or things shift, it takes you out of you.
Right.
And so when I would look up, bro, sometimes like I'd wake up so sluggish.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just because like I felt like I had the weight of the world of like, if I make the wrong decision, my life's gonna be over.
Mm.
If I lose too many people, my life's gonna be over.
Right.
So how can I show up as this confident man
Right.
who like stands on his one, people look to when you walk in the room, if I can't trust myself?
Right.
And so that's the part that got me. It was the losses, but it was also like how I finally started viewing myself. And so when we said like, you said it the other day, like stuck in the mud, like, bro, I was like, I was shoulder depth in the mud.
Yeah.
My head barely stuck it up.
Right.
Wonder if I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna get one more last breath of air. And that's how I would take on the day. And that's like a fear mindset where like I'm walking in fear, I'm living in fear, and I'm scared.
Right.
So like goes to the point where when we were talking the other day, and you're like, man, you just sitting on your gifts. The reason it broke me is because like you know that people can feed off of you. People look to you, or like you just say something. Not even, it doesn't have to be profound. Just like your way of life, the way you think, or something like that. And people are like, man, you changed my life.
Right.
Now, how many times have you gone somewhere and you walk off? You're like, man, I don't even know if it hit that way. Someone walks in, like, bruh, that one thing you said, like, shifted my whole life.
Right. And you don't even remember what you said.
Every time, bro, I walk outside, it's like, man, y'all know what I said? I can't remember what I said. I just was in the zone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, one of my partners, he told me, he's like, bro, if I would have got that phone call from that day, I was going to kill myself.
Yeah, see. But, you know, that also speaks to the battle that a gifted person, or a person that's been called to impact lives, has to face. And I've learned in the process, oftentimes, right, is that God is going to turn my life upside down.
Right.
And strip it to the bare minimum. They say when God plans to make a man great, he first crushes that man.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to go through that crushing in order to get to the greatness. Because if not, what happens is we carry excess baggage. It's just like a plane. When the plane has too much weight, it will not take off.
Yeah.
The plane has to be also evenly weighted in order for that plane to be able to get to maximum flying altitude. And so sometimes in our life, the baggage and I call them survival scripts. And so you've been living in what I call a survival script, is what I learned in my life, right? So a survival script is something that you learn as a young man, a young adolescent, or a young adult that got you through a traumatic season that actually becomes the internal operating system that we run off of now.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to be decoded from that internal operating system because you default to it.
Yeah.
And you need a firmware update. And so I believe what you've been going through is a firmware update. It's like you're getting increased capacity, but also you have to have just the honesty and the mindset and the openness and the willingness to say, I need to go through this season. I need to have everything that can be shaken needs to be shaken. Because when God removes something, it's not like he's not going to give you better, but he wants to also remove anything that's going to be a detriment to you in that next season of life. So those ways that we had, right? And sometimes I've had to go through seasons where it's just the carnage of my decisions caught up with me. And it looked like it was the worst thing that could happen to me, but actually it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me in my life.
Yeah.
Like I've learned for me is that I cannot, like I don't even try to do dirt because dirt always catches up with me. I'm always going to get dirty.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see it on me. You're going to see the dirt on me. And the dirt, what I've learned is always shows up at the most inopportune time.
Always.
Right. Your dirt is going to find you out, bro. And I know that for a fact. So I think that's what you've been going through. But what I love about what you've said is, one, you're open enough and you're transparent enough to have that conversation, because I think a lot of us as men, we stuck on machismo, right?
Yeah.
No, this ain't me, right? But when we allow the reshaping to take place and we are transparent about the process, we actually free ourselves.
Yeah.
And so what you're doing is you're freeing yourself in this process through your transparency, through your vulnerability, and your willingness to be open with people.
Yeah.
And I applaud you for that. And bruh, I ain't never turning my back on you.
Real talk.
Like, you could be in prison. I'm gonna go see you. I might not come see you a lot, but I'm gonna make a couple trips down there. Be
Yeah.
like, dog, you know you messed up, but I'm
Yeah,
still rocking
yeah.
out with you.
Yeah.
So always know you got somebody in your corner. God is always gonna place people in your corner. And we know there's seasons, there's reasons, there's lifetimes. Some people are for a season, some people are for you to learn a lesson, and some are there for the lifetime.
Facts.
And so just know you always got your dog is gonna be there
Big
for a
facts.
lifetime. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So as you started walking through this process and figuring out that, okay, my decisions are costing me, my fear is costing me, how did you climb your way out of that quicksand that you were in? Because it's like quicksand, it's like you're steady sinking. How did you find your way out of that?
Oh man, to be completely transparent, like I do believe that there's a way out of it, and at the same time realizing that like I'm still in it. You know what I mean? I see the light, but it really just comes down to like your daily actions. And so for me, my daily actions were looking like me stepping up and changing the way that I think. And I was literally just had this conversation with a mentee yesterday. I was talking to him and we were talking about life, his goals and everything like that. And I was like, man, the biggest thing, I'm not perfect, man. I'm not perfect at all. Like, I'm giving you this advice and tell you because you about to be 16 years old, you about to go into your life and do A, B, and C. I was like, if I can give you the biggest nugget, because I'm in it, I'm in it right now. I was like, you just can't think things are perfect because your mind will look for evidence to make whatever you believe true. And so I said, when I'm in this stinking thing that I'm not good enough or this is not that, man, that's where I had to start. See why I had to start with the way I was thinking about myself and the way I saw myself in the mirror. And so when everything fell apart, the way it did it in the fall, like, and when I said like it was a ripple effect between like intimate relationships and friends and everything else and like work and all that stuff, I love what you just said because it's spot on. Like I needed my world to be rocked. I needed to hit rock bottom to be like, okay, there's nowhere else I can go.
Right.
You know, I started being homeless, but you know, my mom only lived like 50 minutes away, so I'm never gonna be homeless.
Right.
You're not that far away, so I'm never gonna be homeless. But I had to hit that rock bottom area to kind of realize, like, you know what? I keep praying for a restart. I keep praying for like a recharge, and like this is what it looks like. And since then, like really shifting the way that I think, the way that I show up, the people that I'm around and stuff like that. I'm choosing to live an authentic life. Like you're gonna get the raw, ugly version about whatever's going on and whatever it is, because I finally kind of feel free to be me in whatever aspect that looks like. So we no longer have that shadow of like, oh, all my lives are kind of like in this little dark space right here,
Right.
but the sun's coming up, so the shadow's getting smaller. It's getting smaller. So like my stuff's spilling out. It's spilling out, and it's like I don't feel like I gotta juggle too many. I don't gotta juggle stuff no more. If something's not setting right with me, if like a conversation is not good, it's like, you know what? Say how you feel, bro.
Right.
Like that doesn't resonate with me. That don't feel good.
Right.
You know what? I don't have to be in this space, or I don't have to bite my tongue no more. And that level of freedom in like, what is like my mentor calls it, like, you know, you're living a full authentic life. You're living fully. You're the full 360. You're all in. You're standing on your one, and knowing that I can do that, bro. Like it shifted so much where like even though I'm still in the hole doesn't seem that deep anymore. Like I can see the light, but now it's like, man, every time I look down, I'm doing what I got to do, doing the work. I look up, it's like, man, I'm getting a little closer. I'm getting a little closer.
Like somebody dropped the ladder down there, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's slowly I'm moving up, and I'm, to your point, I'm on that ladder. But I'm not thinking about like the glass half empty. I'm looking at it half full. I'm growing, I'm building, I'm becoming more and stuff like that. And then, but I also, to your point, like this is why I say I'm still in it. Bro, we just had that conversation 3-4 days ago. Right. I'm still in it.
Yeah.
And so, but acknowledging that I'm still in it, not running from it and being like, trying to give you quote unquote some BS.
Right.
Like, nah, see why everything cool, bro. You know, I got A, B, and C. I'm doing this and doing that. The moment I said like, yeah, I'm trying to replace this job, what'd you do?
What you waiting on? Why you ain't gonna lean into your gift? You said this is what you want to do. But see, that's the beautiful thing about like having true accountability systems. So if you don't have anybody holding you accountable, man, get you somebody. Quit wanting somebody to tell you what you need to hear. Find somebody that tells you what you need to hear, what you need to know, and has enough love for you to hold you to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
I read somewhere people think, oh, if you love me, you'll never challenge me. That's not love.
No.
Like, you need to be challenged. So I'm like, bro, you keep saying all these things that you wanted to do. We've had those discussions when you moved down here. Like, I need to change. I want to do this. And I'm just watching you just waste the gifts,
Yeah.
waste the opportunities. You got a check and you won't even sign it and put it in the bank and cash it.
Facts. Sitting on it.
And I would not be a good friend to let you do that, because yes, you've built something successful before. You went through a season where that was maybe not where you were going to be long term. But if you have that skill set to build that, why can't you build this?
Yeah.
And the only thing I want to do is just kind of give you that push
Yeah.
and that prod to push you towards that. How big of a position, or how big of a help has like going to therapy? Because I know we also talked about therapy, and that's something that a lot of us as men, we don't talk about that either. Like, how has therapy played a part in your healing, in your growth, in your ability to look yourself in the mirror and just be real?
I'll be honest with you, man. I let folks know this too. Therapy does not work if you don't play full out. And so when I was in those seasons and stuff like that, yeah, some of our sessions were completely real, but then other sessions I'm fluffing. So how can I get the result that I want if I'm fluffing? And that's in any aspect. And I'm like, when I say I'm an advocate of therapy, whenever I've been in therapy and I played full out, and I'm talking about bearing it all, like, this is where I'm at, this is what's going on, this how I feel, bro, I get the biggest return on my investment. Because you can't get the support you want if you're not being honest. But the moment, like you can say the spotlight was on me and there was no more shout out and everything is out, and I could just be, I would say, like, I could just be raw as I want to be. I'm just out here naked. Like, I can't hide nothing. I'm naked. I got the advice that I needed. And it wasn't about, like, and this is what I love about, I always tell people, you got to find the right therapist. Just don't go to someone, like, sit there. Do you feel comfortable? Can you be vulnerable with this person? Do they challenge you in a way that, like, brings the best out of you? You know what I'm saying? Or makes you think on a level where, like, let me go home and, like, really think on this, because I gotta give it to you real. I truly believe the fact that once I was able to be that level of vulnerable, that level of raw, that level of naked, she didn't give me answers. She gave me perspective.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people, like, especially like when you're coaching, you're giving, like, you don't give the person the answer, give them the perspective to shift. And that's why, dog, when I say, like, I love you, bruh, you never tell me what to do. You give me insight on the perspective or my way of being that's not supporting my life.
Right.
So and when we were at Salada talking about it, like, you didn't tell me what to do. You call, bro, your perspective, bro, like, you think about another job and doing A, B, and C to replace this out of comfort, like, you sitting on your gifts.
Yeah.
You got a blank check that you can do this. You built multi-million-dollar businesses. Like, why are you sitting on this check?
Yeah.
You're not doing nothing with it. You didn't tell me what to do, CY. You gave me perspective of, like, bruh, you waiting for the perfect moment of your life so that everything falls into place. And now it's like, you know what? Boom. Now I'm ready to start talking. Wow. Now I'm ready to start helping people again the way I want to help people again. Like, no, you got the gift.
Yeah.
Why are you not doing something with it? And then when you did that, bro, when I say I left that conversation, when I was driving home, no music, no nothing, windows up, like, I'm with myself.
Right.
And it's not, I didn't get emotional in the moment. I got motivated because it was like, hey, right. This is exactly what we talk about as far as, like, sitting on the best thing, sitting on exactly what you prayed for, and God will continuously give you the thing you keep praying for. And if you don't want to see it, it's not gonna be in a bow, it's not gonna be perfect.
Right.
It's gonna be there. So you're either gonna do something, go through the trials and tribulations to become the best version of yourself, to, like, either, and I love what you said when we were talking, you're like, you may be in that season or you might be in that thing and realize, you know what, this isn't 100% what I should be doing, but it gave me access to what I should be doing.
Right. Rerouting destination.
Exactly. And that's what, so to answer your question, I gave you a long way around it, but it was like, that's what it was, man. Therapy, and then even like your friends and stuff like that, but therapy is so key. If you play full out, you will get a return on investment. But I'm always key on this, like, what do you need? I've had different therapists. I've had an older woman that gave me, like, grandma mom vibes. I had a young Christian cat that was, like, from St. Louis, and he was around my age, talked the language I talk, so I felt, like, real connected with him. And then the last one I had, we still talking. That she still checks up on me on this day, and we're not even having sessions right now.
That's good.
She gave me, like, big sis vibes. Like, I don't know, Billy, your attachment style is saying A, B, and C. And I'm like, man, so now I'm doing research into attachment styles and realize like, man, I am so damn avoidant. I am so avoidant. It's crazy. Like I'm so confident, but at the same time, I'm so avoidant. Like if I get put into a situation that calls me forth and it like shakes me a little bit, I'm like, I get quiet. I may get a little defensive, or I'll ignore it completely and try to like, let me just hope this go. I hope what CY just asked me kind of just goes away by itself. I don't got to say nothing.
So I'm going to park right there real
Yeah.
quick because you said avoidant. So what is an avoidant attachment style? For those that may not know.
I guess the best way, like, I don't want to get too deep into it, like, without, like, one, like, look into it, you know, you got anxious, you got scared, you got avoidant, and then I'm more of, like, avoidant anxious, meaning that, like, I can get anxious really quick, which could cause me to get nervous, but I'm more of an avoidant in the sense that, like, I don't like confrontation when it's about me. I don't like being confronted about me.
Right.
And, like, I get called out, or I got called on it yesterday, like, bro, you okay? Like, you can seem kind of testy right now. And I was like, man, my bad. Like, I was getting that mad, you know, like, but like, it was a simple thing, but I felt challenged. In that conversation, it was a group in that conversation, I felt challenged. And I was like, wait a minute, am I getting.
So do you get like defensive?
You get defensive in a way, but at the same time, that defensive almost turns you into a narcissist.
All right. So you get defensive to be offensive.
Exactly. So if I can flip this back on you, now it's the pressure's off of me.
Right.
And it's like, I hate saying it, but then you become like a master of gaslighting.
Oh, wow.
You become a master of taking the pressure off of you. And so even in this current season that I'm in right now, the biggest one is accountability and responsibility. You might not hear what you want to hear, but it's like, okay.
Hey, we don't like accountability, bro.
Nah, bro. Like, especially when you try to live in a way that it is straight, but then when I know that like my straight isn't straight, it's got curves and stuff into it, I'm like, all right, bro, like you got to realize like in this conversation, you haven't always been authentic. Now you're getting put in this, you're being asked something where you have to be honest. Yeah. And it's not that you would lie, but you put some little fluff into it, or
I feel you.
you're not as straightforward about the answer. You kind of
or you omit, right?
Yeah. You completely omit, you know, let me go around into that aspect. And so as an avoidant, the best way to put it as an avoidant, I avoid anything that is about me, on me, or that could put me in a situation where I'm now scared.
Yeah. You don't like to feel challenged. You'll take the accolades, but when it becomes a challenging, like, yeah, so now I'm gonna get offensive to be defensive.
Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I just wanted to kind of park therapy, because maybe somebody hasn't been to therapy and they don't know. And again, we're not therapists.
Nope.
Both of us are in therapy, and we can share our journey in therapy. So if you haven't dealt with your mess, man, deal with your mess, clean your system out.
Oof. I love that. But that's honestly though, bro, that's what it was. And so Miss Audrey giving me that and like really calling me out in that aspect once I'm fully naked, and she was like, how do you feel? I was like, I should feel good. You all this stuff that was coming up, everything, this and that, like, how do you feel? This relationship ended, this relationship ended, this friendship ended, this friendship ended, this relationship ended, like all these different things. Everything's a relationship, and it's not, like I said earlier, it's just not the intimate ones. It was like my world in every aspect had to fall apart. I had to get into it with family members. You know what I mean? And realize how I was being wasn't my full self. And when she called that out, that I was being such an avoidant around my life in certain situations, man, it was like a light. And then recently, like I told you, like I went and supported one of my friends. He's going through some stuff right now, and just seeing his transparency and realizing like even the people at the top of the success ladder can go through stuff.
Right. And that's the thing. I think people look at just because you have money, you have notoriety, you have influence, you have a following. Life is going to life no matter who you are.
Facts.
It's always going to find you. It's always going to test you. It's always going to challenge you.
Yeah.
It's up to us the way that we respond. And the only way that we respond is, going back to those survival scripts. When you kind of reboot and reprogram your system and you debug the traumas and the fear of the past, is when you begin to be able to handle the body shots.
Yes.
The hooks. Because life gonna do that. Life is gonna put you on the rope. Yeah. But you gotta learn how to be able to withstand those blows and get back up. Because if you don't, you'll never get what you want out of life. Life is going to test you and see if what you said you want, do you really want,
Every time.
right?
Every time.
And even to the point, like I want to go back to this one point when you were talking about, I'll get to it. When I wait till it stacks up just right and everything is placed. But do you realize how arrogant that is of us to think that we have all the time in the world
Oh, selfish.
to get to what God told us to do?
Oh, yeah.
Because who's to say that you're gonna make it a year or 2 years to have the opportunity to do what God told you? And so every day is a choice. Every day, my life ain't perfect. I got children, I got a wife, I got a mama, I got my own stuff.
Yeah.
And so every day I get up, it's a choice for me it's a new beginning, a Genesis. It's a new day for me to make a decision. That's why I was just telling my son, he's in Korea and he's, going through some growing pains. And I told him, I said, bro, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what not to do.
Yeah.
Because of the mistakes I've made. But also each and every day you got to get up and make the choice that you're going to show up for the day. Stop worrying about next week. Don't even worry about tomorrow. Worry about this 24 you got ahead of you. See if you can master that. See if you can conquer that. Show up. Ask God for your daily bread, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially to get you through the day. Because I think sometimes we get so far out that we forget to address what's going on right now.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
And we omit and we just kind of sweep. It's like the kid and go clean your room up.
Yeah.
Don't look in the closet. Don't look under the bed.
Yeah.
Everything is clean. But if my mama would lift up that bed, she'd be like, bruh, you need to. And I think that's what we do in life a lot of times, especially us as men, because like I said, we avoid, we don't want to look weak. And there's this narrative, if we share too much, you're being sassy, you're being soft, you're being all these things, right?
All that. And I think that's the one that gets me the most. Like, first, you just like, they want men to be vulnerable and open. But as men become more vulnerable and open, it's sassy.
Right.
Or, oh, he's not a man. Like, that's not what a man is. And it's like, I don't tell a woman how to be a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never do that. I may have my preferences in how a woman acts in his being. But at the same time, when I say, like, you want to see my skin crawl, it's like, well, that's not how a man goes. I said, you're not a man. You don't understand, like, what it is to be in my shoes for half a second.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know a lot of times what we go through is self-imposed because of all the pressure we put on ourselves to provide, to show up, and to lead in every aspect. Like, and I say that with, like, as humble as I can. Like, the shit ain't easy.
Right.
Cut and dry. Like, excuse my language, it's not easy. But and that's what gets me, because, like, every day we're literally waking up and we're thinking about, like, who I got to be today to not look weak for everybody else, because in that given moment, it's like, am I not being a man?
Yeah.
Am I not walking the walk, talking the talk, and stuff like that? And that's where it gets me when people, I'm not dogging women or something like that, because they can have their preferences too. But at the same time, though, when someone's like trying to be in the shoes of that, I can't tell a woman how to be. I don't know what it's like to be a woman.
Right.
I don't know how to be a man. But when I hear a woman saying, well, that's not how a man's supposed to act, a man's supposed to do da-da-da-da, I'm like, man, if you were in my head for 30 seconds, you would be like, bro, you got it. Take it back. Take it all back. I don't want none of that pressure. I don't want none of what y'all be thinking and going through. I don't want no part of that.
Exactly. Right. And I think, I was telling my son, so there's a definition of manhood I learned a couple years ago from this guy named Pastor Ken. And I've taken it and I've run with it. I do try to give him his credit, but I done made it mine now. And so the definition of manhood is accepting responsibility, living courageously, rejecting passivity, and investing eternally. So it's responsibility, it's courage, it's rejecting passivity, and it's investing eternally. And I think as a man, I try to do those things each and every day, right? Be responsible for myself, own my stuff, be courageous enough not to live like everybody says I need to live.
Exactly.
Right? Figure out what works for me and my household. And just because your narrative says this, that doesn't mean that works for me.
Right.
That doesn't mean that works for my family. So those are the things that I really try to live by, and I share with my children. And because I really, and I know you had your dad in your life, and I had my stepdad since I was age 4, and amazing man, amazing man, but he didn't talk a lot.
Yeah, same.
And so how do you navigate trying to, walk through life and pull back from what your dad taught you? And are you trying to like measure up to your dad? Because I know you love your dad a lot. You had a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
You followed in his footsteps in a lot of ways. How does that play into like this journey, this fear, like where you're at?
I think the biggest one was realizing I gotta be my own man too. It's like I can look up to him and who he was and everything like that. But then I hate saying it, but it's like sometimes you really don't know someone until they pass away.
Right.
And so the things that it's not like anybody's talking bad about me like that, but it was like the things that I was learning about his way of being, the way he handled certain situations, the way he showed up and stuff like that. It kind of goes into the fact of like he wanted to create an image for me and my brother of what a man was and what he believed. Like men don't cry, men don't show emotions, we lead.
Right.
You don't lie, you don't do X, Y, and Z. My dad's nickname was the Iceman because he was cold as ice.
Oh wow.
Like he was a major in the military and stuff like that. And so when people would talk about him and stuff like that, such a high regard and respect for him because he gave it to you blunt. He gave it to you real, and he did that with all of us and stuff like that. And it wasn't until as I got older, I became my own man. I started taking ownership for myself that he started opening up a little bit more. I started to hear him speak from a different space. But growing up, it wasn't like I won't say it wasn't like that, but it was more so just the lessons of men. Like you do this, and to your point, like I won't say my dad was a man of many words to us, but it was very direct.
Right.
And how you should be. You don't do this. You don't lie. You don't cheat. You're a man. This is how we roll. And I respect that. But then it wasn't what landed for me the most. I was in my 30s, and me and him had a conversation about, how I viewed him growing up. And then he stopped me, and he was just like, "Man, you and your brother are my greatest accomplishment." And that wrecked me.
Right.
Because that's all I wanted to hear.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I tell like my guy friends, like, man, if you tell your son you love him, tell him all the time, because like it's not that he never told us that he loved him, but like hearing that sincerity in his voice,
Yeah. Knowing that he meant it.
that's what rocked me. I was like, oh man, you really rocked with us.
Right.
I thought we were like the trophy kids. You always wanted us dressed to the nine at church. You want us to be the top athletes in the area. You want us to do A, B, and C. But it was like, nah, like you really, really rock with us because you wanted us to be the perfect image of what manhood was.
Right. His definition of manhood.
Exactly, yeah. His definition of manhood and what it looked like as a young black man showing up every single day. And so that's why me and my brother, we talk with them 95% of the time, the utmost respect.
Right.
We speak accordingly. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. How you doing? Thank you. Good morning. Like you greet somebody when you meet them. You don't start talking to them and stuff like that. And like, so he taught us strong lessons of like etiquette and how to be, you know what I mean? But it wasn't until I was older in my 30s and we had that vulnerable moment, he said that. I was like, damn, well, I had it all mixed up. And that's what I always tell people is like, for parents, most kids don't realize like, y'all don't have a blueprint.
Yeah.
The kids aren't born and they're like, the doctor's like, here's the handbook. This will make you the best parent in the world. And you guys you can rock it out. We don't necessarily get that per se. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it. And you don't necessarily get that per se. And then when you realize that as you get older, that your parents really did the best they could with what they had.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I dealt with that. I was just thinking about that as I even was talking about like, man, I wish my father would have talked to me a lot more.
Yeah.
But he was a man of few words. And then it struck me, it's like my dad's dad died when he was 7 years old. He became the man of the family.
Yeah.
Growing up in the 40s. He was born in 43. Growing up in the 50s and the 60s as a young black man in Tennessee in Alabama. So I can only imagine what he had to navigate. Also not knowing his dad dying and then his mom, getting in relationships where the guys, his brother's father was going upside her head and just all that he dealt with. So he did an amazing job to just be who he was.
Yeah.
He never hit my mom. He never raised his voice at me.
Yeah.
He taught me everything that he know, but then it also taught me like I gotta stop holding people accountable to something that they never were able to give. They weren't even equipped to give.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned in life. And, like you just said, I try to talk to my son because my son's like, I want to make you and mom proud. Like, look, son, make yourself proud. then you'll make me proud.
Yep.
Be the man that you desire to be. And I may not always agree with it, but it's your life to live. But I will talk you through what I can. You don't have to face life alone. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to go to therapy, because I come from that era where there's no such thing as therapy.
Exactly.
What goes on in this house stays in this house. Literally, when I got shot in the military in the 90s, I got out of the military. I didn't even know what PTSD was. Come to find out through trial and error and through the angst and tearing up my life is that I was dealing with PTSD and anxiety. So just going through these things in life, and I've learned so much to be so open. And I'm at a place now, like, that's why we have the Genesis podcast. That's why we have the Genesis Summit. That's why we have Mindset U. All these platforms to share with men so we don't suffer in silence. And we learn to tell our children we love them, and we learn to lead by example, and we learn what really being a man is about.
Yeah.
Because we come from that era, that 80s, 90s, early 2000 era, where our definition of manhood really was, you shaking your head, you already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can, just to that real quick, I remember my first real snap into growing up is just, I never forget, I was in my senior year in high school, track meet, I just lost. I got like third, and I was expected to get like first or second, and I got third. I remember just going to the stands and started crying, and my dad was like, "We don't do that." Boy, I straightened up so quick because it's the way he said it, and it was like, later on, I took it as a slight, like, man, I can't, straighten up, But later on in life, when I realized he was so protective of how we were viewed.
Right.
So he didn't want his son to look weak, but at the same time, he was just like, it could have been a better delivery. Yeah. 10 times way better delivery. But to your point, my dad's dad wasn't in his life. So he's only going off of the operating system that he knows.
Exactly.
And he's trying to get me established in a certain way so I don't look weak, or I can be taken advantage of, or people don't look down on me a certain type of way. For me, when I allow when I have kids, when I allow my kids to go, yeah, go and let it out. I got your back. I'm right here with you. Me being with you is the support you need. But it's not to say he did anything wrong in that moment, because he did shift my perspective. And in that moment, I stood up straight, and he goes, "You gonna be all right?" And I was.
Right. But also, I think sometimes it kind of programs us to not have emotions.
I didn't have emotion for years.
Right. And so what ends up happening is, like, you connect in your relationships, you're not able to connect with your significant other because I don't share.
Yeah.
I was taught not to be vulnerable. And if I'm too vulnerable, you might view me in a certain way, or certain thought. And now the lack of respect is apparent because you don't respect me for the man that I've shown up to be, even though I'm showing up to be my authentic self.
Right.
And what ends up happening is we end up, finding coping mechanisms. Quick, which aren't good for us.
100%.
Yeah. So, what would you say? We talked about, kind of what you've been through, where you've gone, and how you're like, it's a daily battle to pull yourself back up. What would you say to somebody that's watching, a mentee, a mentor, not more so a mentee, or somebody that's saying, yeah, BG, I hear you, that's you.
Yeah.
But I'm different. What would you say to them to look in the camera? I want you to look in that camera.
Yeah, I got you.
And walk them through how they can pull themselves out of the mud and just get 1% better each and every day. Like, I'm not saying fix it, but how do you just change the trajectory of your mindset?
Man, I love that question, bro. If I'm being honest with you, it's a daily choice. And the one thing that, like, my mentor told me last time I saw him was, like, you literally have to make the daily choice of how you're going to go about this day, how you're going to live your life, and what you're going to do. And so for me, it's like me waking up every single day and choosing, like, I'm going to be my most raw, truest, authentic self, no matter what. If it's ugly, it's ugly. If it's not perfect, it's not going to be perfect, because whenever I try to make perfect, I stumble. When I try to make something perfect, I'm overthinking. When I try to make perfect, I'm not being my full honest self a lot of times, because I'm sugarcoating something. And so for me, what it looked like was literally waking up every single day, choosing to be my true authentic self. I'm praying every single morning. I'm reading something every single morning, and I'm taking the steps every day to give myself grace, because I'm not perfect every day. I may miss mindset you on a Tuesday or Thursday, but I don't beat myself up because I'm like, okay, I can watch the recording. I can shift. And one of the biggest things I've learned is I don't have to stay in my stuck. I don't have to stay in my stuck. And I always go back to like stuck is a mindset, stuck is a choice. And if I want support, I need to go have lunch with my boy CY and just have a normal conversation that gives me more clarity every single day. I need to have a conversation with my mentor. Basically having the support system around you and knowing the support system around you so that you're not alone or by yourself, and realizing that like it will get better. What got me the most was I kept thinking that my world was upside. I'm not worthy of relationship. I'm not worthy of having good things. But it was literally reminding myself that like, man, I'm loving.
This is therapy, bro. This is you releasing the weight. Release that weight, man.
That I'm worthy of love. That I'm worthy of good things. And I'm worthy of having good people in my life. And the hardest pill to swallow around that was like believing it. It's a part of that, like, you may not be going exactly through what I'm going through. It may not be the same thing, but you can understand the feeling of like, you feel like there's no direction or which way to go. But like, I choose myself and I choose to live like a certain type of way. And by that by itself, like my whole path has shifted in some kind of capacity to like pull those things in my life. God is pulling things in my life to support me along the ways that easy, no, but I choose myself every day, even in the hard days. I pick me, and it's hard, bro. It's hard.
Understand, bro? That's all good, man.
Because I know it's not gonna be perfect, but I'm trying my best. I'm trying not to stumble, and I'm so grateful right now because the people that are around me right now and the love I've been getting has been so supportive, like every single day. And it's just like it reminds me, like, man, I don't have to be who I used to be. I don't have to fall to the same vices that I fell to in the past. I don't have to like to be down on myself. I give myself grace, I move forward, and I choose me every single day. And that's the best that I can do. And like with friends like you and like people that are around me and everything like that pour into me and love on me and stuff like that, give me the hug when I need the hug. It reminds me like, nah, man, I'm not gonna let these gifts go to waste. I'm not gonna let my gift go to waste. And I'm gonna see my life all the way through.
For sure, man. And I want you to always remember this. Nobody is perfect. There's only one man that walked this earth imperfect, and he was all God, all man. But he also gave us the blueprint. He shows us even in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he asked God, he said, let this cup pass me, but nevertheless, if it's your will, I'll deal with it. And he was emotionally distraught. It just shows you it's okay to have those moments, right? It's okay to understand that we're not perfect.
Yeah.
Right? All we really are called to do is be mature, like to grow and get better. And as long as you're doing that, man, pat yourself on the back. And I'm gonna pat you on the back, man. But never look yourself in the mirror and say that you're not worthy, man, because you're here. You were put here for a reason. You were put here with some gifting, and think about all the lives that you've been able to impact, even in the space that you've been. So look at yourself in that capacity. Know that you are worthy. Know that we got your back. And know that you are loved, my guy. Right? You are loved. Like, people love you, man. And people admire you and people look up to you. But also understand that it's okay to have those vulnerable moments. But also, like, dust yourself off. Don't wallow in it too long. Don't let a bad moment turn into a bad day or a bad week.
Yeah.
It's a moment. Redirect, reflect, and then move on, right? Say, okay, I had a bad moment. Let me take a second, breathing exercise or whatever it is to kind of reset yourself. I know one time my therapist told me, like, if I get to a point where I feel myself like blood boiling, or I'm getting to that place, like, go get a bag of ice and put it on my heart. It's gonna like bring me, it's gonna level set me. And now I can, okay, cool. Or let me walk away and be quiet for a minute. Let me process this. Let me write down how I feel. And instead of going right, I'm just gonna sit still.
Yeah.
Because sometimes no movement is the best movement we can have.
That's facts.
And I think sometimes we feel like we gotta respond, or we gotta move, we gotta pivot sometimes it's just standing still and like, okay, let me just take this second. Let me decompress. Let me get this weight off me. Let me shake the haters off, as they say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can move forward, man. So just continue to know that I'm always a phone call away. You know, the brothers in Mindset you know, whoever you feel comfortable with, or Mindset a call away. You got your boy, you know, we got the dog Reg, you got your mentor. So always understand that there's somebody that's just one call away, man.
Yeah.
And this is a journey, man.
That's real.
But unpack your suitcase.
If I'm walking away from anything, especially in this conversation, I love how you framed it before getting like, it's a conversation, bro. It's just like us talking back when we hanging out and stuff. If I take anything away from it, it's just that, like, it's the realization that, like, I needed everything to fall apart. Yeah, and it sucks to say, and even like, I got my house up for sale right now. Letting go of things that you think you had to have, or things that you felt so attached to and stuff like that. It was realized that, like, the real thing I need to be attached to was myself. And I love what you just said a second ago as far as just standing still. And like, I think, you know what, when everything happened, like when everything started falling apart, as far as like my world started like crashing in October and stuff like that, we sat down and talked. I never forget you saying like, bruh, just sit still. And it's crazy you just brought that up right now, because that gave me so much clarity in that moment, because I felt like everything around me was like, I can't win. It's not about winning.
Right.
It's not about winning. Like, I'm going to be okay in that regard, but it was like, I need to sit still with myself.
Yeah.
And so those moments I was by myself and I was sitting with myself, I felt the most peace I had in a long time. And as I started reintegrating into like being around people, you know, being around people that love me and care about me and stuff like that, and just like being where I needed to be, that was supportive, and just like, it made me feel like I was home. Even though the world's still kind of on fire outside, if I can get these quiet moments to myself and then integrate in a certain place that feel good, like, that was support. So as your brother, as your fraternity brother, as your friend, you know, my dog, I thank you for that, bro, because we said, I think the day is like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be this big phrase or this thing, huge thing you landed. Sometimes it's like bro, just sit still.
Yeah. Because you got to understand, what I learned, man, is that you can't hear in the chaos. When there's so much noise going around, God is never going to, Billy, this is the God. He's not going to do that. He's not going to compete with the chaos in your life. It's going to be a soft whisper. And if you're not still enough and you're not listening, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
And it's powerful, because I felt something as I was sharing that with you. So that you're dealing in this chaos right now. You that might be watching, you need to turn down the noise of your life. Do you realize that sometimes when you're looking for an address, you turn the radio down?
Yeah.
Think about that.
I did. I just said, I was like, I did think on the way here, I was like,
It's because you need clarity. You need clearness. You don't need the chaos of the background noise of life, and all the things, the bills, the job, the kids, the family, what's going on in your mind. Turn the volume down, my guy, family, so you can really hear what you need to hear. So I'm going to do rapid fire, man, and we're going to close this out.
let's rock out.
I want to close this out with you on rapid fire. Name one thing that you refuse to compromise moving forward.
My peace. I refuse my peace. I will not. If something don't feel right, peace.
Okay.
Something don't feel good.
All right. One belief that changed your life.
Change your mindset, change your life.
Okay. Very simple, very clear, very, very direct. And finally, one decision that saved your life or your future.
Therapy.
There you have it.
That's
there
right.
you have it. Peace. Peace, change your mindset, change your life, and go to therapy. So as we get ready to close, tell people where they can follow you. Tell them what you got going on, and give them a quick bar, Billy Grubbs bar.
A quick Billy Grubbs bar. Put me on a spot. Now, you can follow me on Instagram, Billy BGoat04, in Facebook, Billy Grubbs. Got me my picture right there in a suit. What I got going, man, picking my coaching back up, picking the speaking back up, and I'm gonna be dropping some videos soon, because my dog didn't put the battery on my back and sitting here with y'all, got me fired up. So I'm gonna be dropping some content soon and be more consistent with that. I'm excited about that, and really just stepping into my gifts, because I know for a fact I'm here to change lives. You know what I mean? And then I guess the bar to leave y'all with, you know, I'm gonna tell you, this one's been on me for a while now. For the last couple of months, it's like, what got you there won't get you there, or what got you here won't get you there. What got you here won't get you there. So you have to be willing to shift. You have to be willing to change. You have to realize that like your world may come down all around you, and you have to become what you have to be for the next level of your life. And right now, I know I'm becoming the best version of myself to attain and have exactly what it is I say I want in my life, because I asked for something big. I asked to change lives. I asked to be inspirational. I asked to change my own life. I asked to be a better man, a better future husband, a better future dad. And so everything that's happened in my life is a ripple effect of me asking for that thing. And so I realized what made me successful before may not make me successful now. So I have to shift and change.
They say be careful what you ask for. So when you ask for it, you better be prepared, because it might not look like you thought it was going to look. The bar I'll share in closing is, again, understand that it's okay not to be perfect. Understand that this is a process. Understand and figure out what your survival script is. The thing that got you through a season as a young child in a tumultuous situation or a traumatic situation is the actual thing that is actually hindering your progress now. Remember this: God is not obligated to bless my version of his vision for my life. I'm going to say that again. God is not obligated to bless my version of his vision for my life. I got to follow his plan the way that he's laid it out, or it's not going to work. And I can't get upset because it's not working, because that's not what he said. Follow the last instruction that you received. Wisdom says there's 4 ways you can confirm that instruction. 1 is through the word of God. 2 is through the Holy Spirit. 3 is through wise counsel, godly counsel, accountability. And 4th, it is through patterns and consequences. What are your patterns? What are your consequences say about you? Because sometimes our patterns and consequences showing that we've actually been going by the beat of our own drum. And that's why we have the patterns and consequences that we have. Again, this has been episode 30 of the Genesis Podcast, brought to you by gripgolf.com, brought to you by the Discipline to Finish. Down in the show links, the show notes, grab your copy. This is your boy CY. Follow us on Instagram at I am 8020Nation. Follow this channel, subscribe to this channel. Run these views up, man. We need these views, man. We need these views, man. Like my boy, the great poet says, don't just skim through it. You got to listen to it. I think you'll know who I'm talking about. This has been the Genesis Podcast. Shout out to Action Studios, my guy Joe for rocking with us. Of course, my right hand man, he's sitting right here, Ken Funderburg, the Jamaican. This is my guy. And shout out to you, my boy. I love you, man. Appreciate you for having this discussion. And let's continue to build and let's continue to grow. And don't you ever schedule a trip during the Genesis Summit again.
I will. I promise, bro. I'm gonna be there. I got you.
Hey, this is the Genesis Podcast, and we out.